This is the Rockers' home. This is sunny Scarborough. It's always sunny in Scarborough, as you can see today. We've just panned round from the spa, where they took all the spa waters, right through to the castle. This is one of two bays in Scarborough. The other one's the North Bay, equally as big as this, absolutely beautiful. They call Scarborough Paradise, and it really is the nicest place in the whole wide world, which is why, after a lot of discussion, bids, we decided to put Enterprise Rockers headquarters located in Scarborough.
Tell me a little bit about Enterprise Rockers.
Enterprise Rockers is a community interests company. It's an independent community interest company. It was founded by Tony Robinson and I in January 2012 on my birthday.
Now, who had heard of the Enterprise Rockers before I advertised it like that? Anybody? Right, great, lovely.
It's really nothing more than a very informal band of people all coming together to make a difference in their own business.
Launched in January 2012, Enterprise Rockers aspires to become the largest global self-help community to micro-businesses, wherever they are in the world. The aim of Enterprise Rockers, a UK-based community interest company, is to make life in micro-business better and fairer, and to achieve that we promote the following ways of working. Encourage micro-business owners to trade with each other. Encourage consumers to buy goods and services from micro-businesses. Encourage micro-businesses to collaborate with each other to create opportunities.
What we wanted to do with the film, the big movie, the Enterprise Rockers big movie for micro-business owners, was to give them some survive and thrive tips to help them understand that what they're going through is not alone, especially those that are actually running their business on their own. That this was about making sure they understood that there were thousands and millions of others out there who were doing the same thing as them and actually probably going through very similar things. So what we wanted to do was create some survive and thrive tips and just give an opportunity for some fun maybe as well. We hope there's a bit of interest in it and a few experiences to share, and also for us to promote the support that Enterprise Rockers gives. We are just about micro businesses. We are about the 0 to 9s. We're not about the big business, but we want to educate government and the big business of the importance of micro businesses to both the economy, communities, and to regions where people live.
We are the Enterprise Rockers. Just listen to other micro-enterprise owners, learn from them. And in my 20-odd years, 26 years of running my own business, I'm absolutely certain that the things I've been able to do better are as a result of rockers, micro-enterprise owners doing their things. Hi Annabelle, I'm Tony Robinson. I'm from the Enterprise Rockers global community of micro-enterprises. Hi.
I think we follow each other on Twitter, Tony.
Fantastic, great. What I'd like you to do is just tell me who you are and what your business is.
Okay, my name's Annabella. I run property, I say management, but it's a business that offers services to letting agents, landlords, independent agents, national agents, drawing up inventories and checkouts at the start and the end of tenancies. That's what I do, over 5 counties.
By the way, my name's Tony. I'm not the famous Tony Robinson, you know, the comedy actor. In fact, when Emma booked me, she said that we've got some really fantastic speakers for the rest of the day, so we want something lightweight with no serious messages at the end, and you came highly recommended. So I'm the lightweight spot when there's not many people around, but very cosy. And what I've decided we'll do, thinking quickly, is that I'll talk for about half an hour on 10 feisty tips about micro-enterprise to survive and thrive running your own micro-enterprise.
Hello, I'm Lorraine Orman. I've been in business for the last 15 years and currently I run boutique speaking bureau Enterprise Speakers, PR company Enterprise Promotion, and I'm also author and founder of Enterprising Child. My top tip for surviving and thriving in micro business is to be responsive to opportunities and feedback to improve what you're doing. Sometimes an opportunity might come up and you think, I'd love to do that and it would really help my business, but I don't have the expertise to take it forward. Look around your own and your extended networks and see if there's someone who shares your vision and values and who does have those expertise, so that you can collaborate with them to make that happen.
So, if you come to sunny Scarborough, you'll come into the station, which is over there. And across the road from the station, you'll see a cafe and hairdressers, and above that is Enterprise Rockers HQ. Amazing building, historical significance, even more historical significance since we moved in there. If you go down the hill from the station, you eventually come to this road, which is called Bland's Cliff. Historically, again, very important. You turn right, come down Bland's Cliff. Now, Bland's Cliff was where all the people coming from the station were actually brought down on horse-drawn carriages down here and right to the front there, where they actually went into their bathing machines. And then some of them went to the right, to the spa, to take the fantastic spa waters. I recommend Rioja as much better than the spa water. Now, this is the Enterprise Rockers HQ canteen, La Rocca, appropriately named. And this is where Tina Boden and I, as co-founders of Enterprise Rockers, meet at least monthly to discuss all the great things in the world of micro-business owners that is going on. And it's owned by Steve and Elaine, and it's been very, very successful for the last 2 years. Now, Steve and Elaine, plus 5 other random rockers, including one from Northern Ireland, and I are going to discuss some of the things that help make businesses get going, keep going, and survive and thrive. And we'll have a little bit of tapas and drink a little wine at the same time. La Rocca.
Yeah.
First thing I think we should do is just say Enterprise Rockers.
Enterprise Rockers.
So, we're all here in the fabulous Enterprise Rockers canteen, La Rocca. And yeah, it's fantastic. And with me are a random group of rockers, none of which I've met before, so that I'm sure they'll introduce themselves. And the first little thing we're going to talk about is like, what in hell's name made us think that we could actually start and run a business and get going? Why did we do it? And, you know, how did we feel as though we knew enough to do? And I'm going to ask Tina, co-founder of the Enterprise Rockers, first of all, what made you think you could start and run your own business, Tina?
Mine was partly to do with my parents and the influence that they had over me, because they ran their own business and my grandfather ran his own business, so it was very something that was part of my life, really. And Mum and Dad decided that they were going to sell one of their businesses, and I decided that I would go into business with my mum, and that's where it all started when I was 21. And we bought a property lettings and management business which neither my mum, my dad nor I knew anything about. We were going to turn it into a holiday lettings business because they'd always been in the hotel and pub trade. And when we decided that that's what we were going to do, we realised that it wasn't an option because the quality of the accommodation that we wanted in the area we were going to do it wasn't there. And then the recession hit at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, and there were lots of repossessions and redundancies and a lot of what's happening now, but interest rates were like 16.5%, and our little property lettings and management business just boomed. It just went from strength to strength through a recession, and that was my introduction to self-employment. And also a very man's world in the property lettings business. A young lady in a man's world, so that was interesting as well.
And what made you think that you could do it? Was that because of your mum and dad? Or?
I'm not sure I thought I could do it, but it was very much about customer service, and I'd been brought up with customer service since, well, for as long as I can remember, really, because I'd always been involved in mum and dad's businesses. And they'd run their businesses, and whatever business you're running, there is a generic theme that runs through it. You know, it's about making sure that you give good customer service, it's about making sure you market yourself in a positive way,
It's about making sure that you have the skills and ability, and that doesn't need to be a qualification. That can be something that you've learnt from a hobby, from a passion. But yeah, then you have to learn and as you go along. And the one thing that I have done in every business, because I've had businesses in quite a lot of different sectors since then, is get a qualification in that area so people have a little bit of more of a belief in you. Although now I get older, I think they just believe that I know what I'm talking about.
So basically, my 10 tips, I've got a little mnemonic for my 10 tips. If you see the word enterprise, there's 10 letters in it. Isn't that good?
My company's called Bespoke Futures. It's quite an unusual company. We use lots of fun and interactive techniques with companies, with groups and with individuals to get them to create visions and move them on. We also work with smaller groups to get them to think about their personal development and to give them tips on how they can be more effective in their life, in their career, just generally.
Could I just ask how many of you run businesses already? Okay. How many of you are micro? Oh, I love little people.
What made you start this fantastic, my favourite place in all the world? What made you start it?
I suppose,
for me, probably.
Well, yeah, that's one. I suppose in a way it's similar to what Tina's just said there. I mean, my parents ran a bar in Mallorca for 10 years. And it was something that I didn't exactly, I wouldn't say I knew what to do and how to do, but I did help them a lot out there, and I had a lot of friends out there, and a lot of influence of what we do today is from that. And the other reason was I was off for a long period on the sick. I had a scaffold accident where my spine was dislodged, and I was in a lot of operations, and I couldn't go back to manual work whatsoever. So, and also our son had a bad car accident and was paralysed, and that was the final push that we needed. And in fact, he was the one who told us to give it a go, and we did. And it's been a long and tough road, but slowly it is starting to turn. We've been 18 months now, but the signs are looking good for next year. So it's.
And do you think that sort of like Mallorca gave you, you know, sort of like your parents running a bar? Do you think that gave you everything you needed to know to run this place?
Yeah, well, I must have been mad because I knew the hours they did. And I'm pretty similar, doing more or less the same at the moment. As now we've got that little section. Yeah. Because previous we did have to shut at 6, and we've had a long haul with council and licence, and we've fought and we've won our appeals up to now. And we've got a 9:30 licence. But, I mean, we open at 3, but it's the hours you do after and before. The bit in the middle's the easy bit. The actual final cooking and serving is probably the easiest bit. It's behind the scenes before you're open, and like I say, after you close, it's just never ending. And we've never run a business, me or Elaine, and it's been an eye opener. Let's put it like that.
What would be something that you didn't really expect? Was it from next door?
Yeah, and customers. It's everything from license to planning. I mean, just emptying your bin. How much it costs you to empty a commercial bin? Even you don't even think about anything like that. Same as playing your music, your performing rights and that, and it's just mind blowing what you do have to pay out. And anyone who thinks you've got a business think you're loaded. I mean, my friends now just think I've just got to get them a drink every time I'm in a bar because I've got my own business. So, he's loaded, but you know yourself, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, probably that's. But we're both enjoying it. And I'm glad we've done it.
Correct.
We inspire people to achieve their aspirations. So we work with a whole set of organisations, so SMEs, charities, social enterprises, to make them more successful. So if they want to grow, they want to change the world, we want to help them.
The reason that the stage is here is that I can actually see those that don't make any effort to move. I will actually give you a little bit of a warning, and Calvin here and Katie and Ambrick will vouch for this. Those that don't show anticipation in my workshops are more likely to get picked on.
What about you, Paul? All the way from Dublin?
Yeah, so Dublin with a Belfast accent. So it's Dublin's a great place to live. It's an expensive place to live. I'm an eternal optimist. I didn't really have a career path sort of planned out. It was more into sports and that sort of thing. But I always had to sort of like, I was telling someone the story last night, actually, hustle. Not rip people off or con people, but just trying to figure out how to make ends meet, how to pay the rent, how to buy some clothes, how to buy some food. I've done everything from driving a motorbike around London to delivering parcels to stacking shelves to mixing cement. But the one thing I was always able to do was tell a story and sell things. And I started selling stuff in telecoms and became really successful at earning commission selling telecoms, and started getting very past remarkable or critical of the companies I worked for because my customers kept on complaining. Eventually I decided I could do a better job myself, and I started a telephone company, and just from a point of view of going out to sell stuff. So I didn't create a network or anything like that there. I hustled. I went out and seen if I could convince some people to buy this telephone company stuff that I was going to create. Then when I found out I could actually get people to buy stuff off me, of my own, I went and then convinced some networks to let me have some airtime, for want of a better word, and started building it from there. That went really well. I had good partners, good staff that had built around me, and the company turned into a multi-million-pound company. And I got bored. So it was all process then. It wasn't, there is a romantic side of this startup. You have to cut and thrust the hustling, and yes, it's really stressful, and I feel your pain, and my next venture is a network to help businesses harness the power of social media easily, and sort of make shop local make sense. Tina and I have lots of chats about this, and there's sort of 85% of the people out there, our potential customers, think that we're really doing well, that we're business owners, we're loaded, as you say, you know. They don't appreciate the rent and rates, the staffing issues, all of the other hidden overheads that we have. But they do think that you're doing better than they are a lot of the time. And what I wanted to do was try and arm businesses with some tools that actually made it meaningful from a consumer's point of view, that they could actually embrace shop local without feeling that we're having to be charitable about it. So we created this system where consumers were able to get value, discount or free stuff, but businesses were able to get full RRP, no discount. In fact, I just hate the word discount these days. We've in the last few years trained our customers to expect half price everywhere.
Is there a tip that you could give everybody that you've used in your business that has just helped you, not just keep going, but actually move forward a little bit?
How I've done it is batten down the hatches at home. I've had to put personal money in, not that there was a lot to start with. I started this business with nothing. Put personal money in, batten down the hatches at home, and just go. Just keep going with what you've got. Because, I've been to the banks. It's not been helpful. Not when you're a small business and you're just starting out. Just push the people maybe to pay a little bit of money before, part payment prior, because there are other people that don't come back after you've given the service. But just keep going, use what you've got.
Focus and act. So keep focused and keep acting. Keep moving on.
For us, it's flexibility. To be able to go into any business and ask for their requirements and actually have the ability and the product to match it helps. Being flexible on pricing, flexible on locations, and just having that all-round sort of fluidity, so you can actually go into a business and feel free that your product can actually match any requirement that they may have, and that's been key for us and it's key for our success.
We want to ensure that we've engaged with far more people, not just across the UK but across the world as well, and micro business owners, organisations that work to make life better for micro business. The biggest amount of hits we get on our website is actually from the USA, and the reason for that is because in the USA the term micro business is used far more than it is in the UK. we very much refer in the UK to SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises. We want to re-educate the nation to actually use the terminology microbusiness so that they understand that the smallest of small, the little guys, are also very much making a contribution.
The phrase that we've used already, that make ends meet, 95% of us are just trying to make ends meet. We're not looking to do any more than that. We just want to keep going around. Yeah, don't we? And
do it on your own terms. I think it's important, isn't it? People are always telling us, they always say, oh, we think, you know, you're about to make it really big. Well, that's not on our radar. We don't want to make it really big. I don't want to have to employ 20 staff. Where's the fun in that? You know, I want to be doing stuff myself and being able to choose what we do rather than having to work on things because we have to maintain, you know, a business and maintain certain payments and so on. Yeah. And there's this perception that unless you've made it big, whether that's financially or in terms of the number of people you employ, well then you're not a success. But that's not true at all. There's a great deal of happiness into being very close to what you do, and especially, you know, what we do as designers. You know, we're not in it for the pleasure of running a business. We're in it for the pleasure of being creative, and to some extent, the smaller you are, the more creative freedom you have. And you know, often we're, you know, people who run larger design agencies than us sort of envy the amount of creative freedom we have and the flexibility we have. We can decide overnight, well, let's work on something like this for a change, and they don't have that kind of flexibility.
Did you start, Adrian, with your lovely gallery and studio right from the beginning?
No, we started like most businesses in the bedroom. I think it wasn't even a spare bedroom. It literally was one of us asleep in the bed and the other working on the computer in the corner. So yeah, but...
So was that a big achievement when you actually moved into the studio and created your little gallery and everything?
It did, and it was important. It's a very common pattern in the creative industries that you work from home, and it is a big leap to then suddenly rent somewhere. And even though people are more switched on now to providing what we call incubator spaces or, you know, creative sort of workspaces and things, it still is a big leap because of all these costs you weren't expecting to pay. And to be honest, I don't look down on people who choose to work from home because, you know, that's kind of, you know, it's a lifestyle decision and there's a great deal of happiness from that as well. But I think it worked for us to be able to make that leap into something just a little bit bigger, just because we suddenly met so many more people and suddenly you were on the radar because you were, you know, you were out there in the world.
The thing that's kept me going most, I suppose, with the business are the technical challenges that the customers give me. Quite often they're things that nobody's ever made before, and that keeps it interesting, which means I want to get up in the morning and carry on doing interesting things.
How long have you been in business for? Your own business?
Yeah, 2000, so what's that, 13, 14 years ago?
Yeah, thanks.
Nearly
25 years. Nearly 25 years apart from a very brief, a brief spell where I was employed.
You were 12 when you started. So that's Adrian?
13 years.
13 years, my goodness.
It's about 14.
So just apprentices, 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Wow.
Asta, when did you start?
6 years.
6 years now.
And Tony, what about you? Same as me.
27.
Yeah.
27, 28 maybe. Yeah, that's great.
The first thing is trust yourself and trust the universe. If you've put the work in before, it will come, the work comes. So I think a lot of it is about remaining positive, knowing that you're good, surrounding yourself with inspiring people, keep developing yourself, keep yourself out there and never give up.
Hi, my name's Phil Ben and I'm a solicitor with simplelegals.co.uk. Our top survival tip would be to take advice from people that know. That's not always professional advisors, but can be people that have already done whatever it is you're trying to do, be it running a business or trying to climb a mountain.
I mean, if you take you're in the creative business, aren't you? And what made you start in business?
I think I started my own business, A, because I had to, and B, I saw more and more that the mainstream corporate workplace were just employing disabled people at that time, just to tick a box, and I'm not in it for that, and the reason why I went into the media creative side was to, I've got my passion of helping people, so not only was it a way of income for me, but it was also, I could drive my passion and my message through that media stream. So yeah, it just made a lot of sense, and converted my garage at home into a studio, and it just really worked out. But I started from my bedroom as well, and there was 2 of us in there at that point, grafting away. And but yeah, it is hard graft, but you just gotta stick at it, and if you've got the passion and the drive, then it really works.
People recognise the passion, don't they?
Yeah.
It's your best advert, isn't it? The
Yeah,
passion.
and sometimes, you know, running your own business, your passion does get knocked because of one thing or another, but you just got to pick yourself back up again and ignore it, really.
If you want to show people that your business means business, you need to get yourself a really good, well-designed, quality business card, an original design, and make sure that you always, always carry them with you. Because if you've got something that makes you feel proud when you hand it out, people are going to feel so much better about your business.
I'm Dylan and I'm 7 years old. I'm the youngest successful crowdfunder in the UK and the first young ambassador for crowdfunding in the UK. I wrote a cracking good recipe book for charity and it's doing really well. My top tip for people in business is to look after your customer and make sure you are giving them what they want. When I was selling my books, I made my store look really nice, and every time someone bought a book, they were given a chocolate and entered into a prize draw, and they also got a sticker. This made them really feel really special. Thank you.
Yeah, we've still got, my business partner, Claire and I, have still got framed our very first sort of like bill being paid, you know, so we didn't, it was about £7. we actually kept the cheque, we thought it was like, fantastic, that was our first bit of business.
It means a lot, doesn't it?
No, it does, it's like huge, it's like we're on our way kind of thing.
There's all these milestones, you know, the first business that you signed up, the first invoice that you produced, but the most special part was in paying it, definitely, the very first payment that you received.
Hi, my name is Mary Cummings, the founder of Work Your Way, the community for freelance and self-employed parents. And my tip to thrive is, as soon as you can, see if you can form strategic partnerships with complementary and like-minded businesses. And what this does, particularly with complementary businesses, this will help you to expand your reach and diversify into new markets.
Survive tip, I lived in Japan for 2 years. They have a concept called Kaizen, which can also be called marginal gains, and that is every day learn something new, try and add a new skill, have a conversation that you know brings something new to your game, and all those little gains every day of the year amount to a hell of a lot and a hell of a lot of experience. That would be my survive tip.
Is there any one person or one thing that while you were starting up that you would say that's the reason that I'm still trading now? There might not be, you know, but if there is, you know, I'd be interested in finding out. Okay, you go.
Mum and Dad.
Mum and Dad, yeah, fantastic.
Ditto.
You know.
Mum and Dad, yeah.
My parents were supported by both grandparents. One, my grandfather, who was my dad's dad, who would run his own business, and my mum's parents, who actually, my granddad had worked for Michelin all his life, more or less, Michelin tyres, and they supported them. But mum and dad were a great support. And actually, I think one of the things you've got to understand is it doesn't matter how long you've been in business, doesn't matter what business you're in, there are people out there that you can learn from all the time that are natural mentors. Not that I'm a great lover of the word mentor, but that you actually can take a little bit of what they advise you to do and help, and take that and use that as your own. And even this year for me, I've had 2 people. Well, I've had 3, but one of them I'm stuck with because I'm in business with him. But I've had 2 other people. Yeah, I've had 2 other people who really helped me at the beginning of this year, because at the end of last year I was being taken for granted for the sort of free advice and time I was giving. So they helped me. But I think you've got to understand those that really want to keep going and that were interested and actually understand the whole thing that Adrian was talking about, where this is about a lifestyle. So let's embrace the terminology lifestyle business, because actually it's really important, because this is about a lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for me, the lifestyle of being able to sit outside here on the Friday afternoon in the summer and see people that we really
Watch
like,
me drink Rioja.
watch you drink Rioja, and have a class it as a meeting, is always a real bonus. But you know, it's the different lifestyle. A lifestyle business to me is really important, and I think the terminology should be embraced. We should less worry about whether we're growing our business and how we're doing that, and that's really why I called one of my businesses Only Me Here.
My name is Carol White, and I will run EES Show Hire, which is a sound and lighting hire installation company, and we're based in Retford, North Nottinghamshire. Top tip, know your industry. That's always a good one.
My top tip for survival is closely manage your cash flow.
Has anybody else got anything where they think that something has really helped them keep going? You know, they've survived because maybe a bit of luck or something happened, or they met somebody, or there was...
Yeah, my assistant.
Yeah?
Seriously, yeah. I've been through like 3 other assistants before Alex came to me, and I was ready to throw the cloth in because it was just absolute nightmare, because you've got to put your trust in that person.
Is that because she's really hot?
Don't get that. I know the answer to that one.
No, like my sister Tony.
So do I.
Yeah,
By the look
so
on his face.
but yeah, it's just it really helps, because she allows you then to go out and be yourself and be confident, and knowing that there's someone there who's got your back, and so yeah, it's really important. Your team around you as well.
And I think you have different criteria for who you choose to work with as well, don't you? I think
Always females. No, really, I've only employed one male, and it's not worked. We've always clashed heads. So.
Jake, get out on the cast.
It's nice having that freedom to choose who you work with, isn't it? And
Oh God, I wouldn't have it any other way.
There's rarely more than 3 of us in the studio at once. And you're spending all day with that person, so it's got to be someone whose company you enjoy. You know? And that's as important as how good they are at the job. You know, obviously you're looking for both. You're looking for perfect balance of somebody who's great at the job and is just really enjoyable to be with as well.
I was working for ITV, and one day I was going to London, and ITV had to employ a carer for me. And anyway, I got to the Leeds station, and this carer rolled up, and she was in a nurse's outfit, and she shouted on the train that she was my nurse and all this kind of stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is the day I leave ITV, and this is the day I started employing people myself. So you're absolutely right.
Asta, can we just clarify what type of nursing
I wasn't at that point.
We're interested in what government are doing, we're interested in what corporate organisations are doing, but what we want them to understand is the importance of the micro-business owner. And you know, sometimes people just don't want to listen, but it's fine, because we'll just keep banging the drum anyway.
Fences I remember, just when yesterday's defenses fell. Under tunnels, over bridges, I lost control of all my senses again. Maybe east is east and the west is west, but how do I decide which way is best? Information overload, and I don't know which place I'll visit next. Smash the glass, take your hammer now and smash the glass. Just smash the glass. Seems to be the only way. I was gonna do it anyway. Pretend it's an emergency. I've already lost my dignity.